Jingle bells, jingle all the way. uh, so Vlogmas Day 2. So today I didn't really do much other than I went to the gym, worked for a little while, not as long as I usually do. And then I spent some time with my mom. Just, we just stayed at her apartment and watched some stuff on the TV. And yeah. Oh yeah, and then ate some pretty good fish that she made. I think it was tilapia. Yeah, I've been trying to eat more fish lately. I mean, I've never really been a big, like, I've never really stumbling on words. I've never been a big like steak eater. Like, I mean, yeah, I eat meat and, but actually, I guess you could say I've been doing what I can to like cut back on red meat mostly. Of course, there was a time when, in fact, I want to say, I think 9-10 years ago, I tried being a vegetarian for about a year. About a year. I like technically like 11 months and some days, or and it was all right. But I guess I don't know. As I didn't know. I mean, I ended up like eating a lot of junk food, and it was so yeah. I went back to eating meat and just like mostly like ground beef, stuff like that. And but anyways, so I guess I kind of want to get back into like a semi-vegetarian diet, and just because I always notice like after I eat like fish or some like really lean kind of meat, mostly fish, but as opposed to like after I eat say like beef or pork, and usually because I know like after I eat meat, red meat especially, I tend to feel like kind of groggy, like a little bit sleepy afterwards. Whereas like after I eat some kind of fish, I don't really feel sleepy. I mean, I feel like, yeah, full, satisfied, and oddly enough, like a little bit energized. And but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I don't know where I'm getting at with this stuff. For all right, I guess I just wanted to say, yeah, that trying to get back into at least a semi-vegetarian diet, so just mainly for health reasons. Yeah, not really. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I am concerned about other stuff too, but I don't know. So yeah, because I didn't work. Oh, one thing I wanted to just share a story I have, because I'm a delivery driver. Well, technically, I'm an independent contract worker. Because technically, I'm not considered an actual employee of Postmates, nor is any other driver that delivers food for Postmates. And but And so I've been doing it for a little over a year now, and I've ended up having, I've collected a number of weird and funny stories, and uh, so I wanted to share one. Like for me, like so far, the one that was like the funniest, also kind of weird, but not the weirdest, not by far. Uh, but definitely the funniest for me. So, so it started. It was around this time last year, or in fact, I think it was like in the middle of December of last year, 2018, and so I was delivering some Chipotle order. Chipotle, by the way, if you don't know what that is, it's just the easiest way to explain it. I'd say it's like kind of like a somewhat fancier version of Taco Bell. Yeah, but so yeah, I delivered this Chipotle order, and it was to kind of an old neighborhood, uh, and it was kind of far for me to drive out there. But back then, I mean, well, last year, Postmates, they were giving us El Paso drivers a lot more bonuses for every order that we delivered. So, I mean, at the very least, like, I knew that my gas was covered for most of the orders. So, not always, but usually, especially back then, they were giving us so many bonuses. But yeah, so I delivered to this kind of old neighborhood, uh, in a somewhat older part of the city of El Paso, Texas. And so when I got to this neighborhood, and of course, it was, Christmas time, holiday season, and all that, the entire neighborhood, uh, they had their lights up, they had all their houses decorated, and I guess it was like a community effort. But because of that, they didn't have any other lights on. Like, they didn't have their porch lights on or any of their inside house lights on. They just had the only lights that were on were, the Christmas lights, the twinkly stuff and all that, and other decorations. And so because of that, it was hard for me to make out the customer's address. I mean, I couldn't see. And of course, this one neighborhood, like, they didn't have a lot of street lamps. In fact, I want to say they had like maybe 3 street lamps at most, and I believe 2 of them weren't even turned on. uh, so yeah, it was dark and hard for me to make out the address, and because like I said, it was an old neighborhood. No numbers were on any curb, and so I had to call the customer, and luckily he answered fairly quickly. And so he answered, and then I said, "Hi, this is Ryan. I'm your Postmates driver. I have your order. I'm in your neighborhood. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble making out your address." And then so right away, the customer, he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a red car in my driveway." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "Yeah, it's an old red car, like a really old red car." So and then I looked and I noticed like 5 of the houses had red cars in their driveways. And 3 of them were, yeah, they looked old, like older model red cars. Like, I want to say they're, I don't know, like Ford or some old Camrys or whatever. And so that narrowed it down, but it didn't narrow it down enough for me. So then I told the customer, I told him, I said, "Okay, that kind of helps." I was like, but I see like at least 3 really old red cars, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no, but I mean it's like a really really old red car, like." And I was like, "Okay," and I don't know if he was like kind of drunk. He sounded like he might have been kind of drunk or something, or possibly, I don't know, maybe high or yeah. So then finally, like, because I didn't know what to say after that. After he said, it's a really, really old car, old red car. And then finally he just said, oh, you know what, man, I'll just walk out to the front yard. I'll meet you out there in the front yard. So I said, okay, thank you very much. And then he hung up, and then that's when I got a hunch, and like I got kind of like this gut feeling, and I was like, I was like, I saw there's only one house that was decorated with this, like, it was like an inflatable Yoda, like a 7-foot inflatable Yoda. Inflatable Yoda that was dressed like Santa Claus. It had, like the hats and the outfits, and even like a little fake beard on it. So I pretty much said to myself, I said, oh, you know what, I bet you this is where this guy lives. Because, that was one of the houses that had an old red car parked in the driveway. So I moved closer and parked in front, like on the curb, of course, close to the curb, where this 7-foot inflatable, like Santa Yoda thing was. And I parked there, and I was like, oh, you know what, I bet you this is it. This is where this guy lives. And sure enough, like about a minute or so later, the customer came walking out, and he was waving his arms in the air, and I was like, oh, yep, it's him. And and I was pissed off, like, but I wanted to laugh at the same time, but I didn't want to let on that I was pissed off or upset in any kind of way. And so I just got out of the car, and the guy was there. He said, oh, hey man. I just said hello, and I was like, here's your order. I handed him the bag with his order in it. And then as soon as I handed it to him, he's like, oh yeah man, sorry, I forgot about the Yoda. and I didn't know what to say. Like, I wanted to laugh. But after he said that, I was just like, no, it's cool, man, it's cool. And I just got back in my car and drove away. And of course, on the inside, like in my head, I was like, you forgot about the frickin' Yoda? The frickin' 7-foot inflatable Yoda dressed as Santa? I was like, come on, how do you forget about something like that? Like, he must have been drunk or high, or I don't know. Like, it wasn't his house. Because I know I have had, like, I've delivered to a lot of customers, a lot of people, where, it turns out that, they're at a friend's house or a relative's house, or just some residence that they've never been in before, or even some people that just, they don't want to give their actual address, so they use a neighbor's address or a friend's address or something like that. I mean, yeah, I get that kind of stuff. But it's there are some people. I mean, like, I don't know. The guy, I want to say, like, clearly, I guess he didn't actually live there, or he could have been from out of town, I guess. But still, even if you're like spending, you're from out of town, you're spending the holidays with some family or whatever. How do you forget about a freaking 7-foot inflatable Yoda? Like. Like, come on, I don't know. That's why I said it's the funniest thing I've experienced, being a delivery driver, doing this, delivering food for Postmates, and of course I have plenty of other stories. I guess I mean, I'll share some others, like, later on, of course, during this month, this Vlogmas month, but But yeah, it's just, even just thinking, every time I think about it, that, there's, it's hard for me to believe that anyone could forget that a 7-foot inflatable Yoda is in on their front yard, and they order food. The delivery person calls them, telling them that they're having trouble making out their address. Instead of mentioning the Yoda, he mentions a freaking old red car. Like, that's that's just, it makes me laugh every time I think about it. I'll admit I haven't thought about it in a while, but now, especially, since it's December again, the holiday season, I'm anticipating that I'm gonna have something like that happen to me again, possibly even multiple times, and but I mean, it's all good, I guess, and I don't even remember if that guy tipped me, because usually most customers, they tip me through the app. Sometimes they give me a cash tip, but it's rare when I get a cash tip. Usually it's all the tips are processed through the app, the Postmates app. I don't even remember if he tipped me. I think he did. Maybe like no more than a couple bucks, though. Yeah. If he had, I mean, yeah, because I always remember the people that give me a big tip. Like, I'm talking about, for me, big is like $5 and beyond. Like, especially like if anyone tips me $10 or more than that, more than $10, then yeah, I definitely I remember them. I make a point of remembering them, and so otherwise, if people don't tip me, or just tip me $1 or $2, and yeah, I'm still grateful for the tip, but I don't really remember. So yeah, that's why that guy, like, I don't even really remember, like, if if it was a young guy or an older guy. But I just remember he failed to mention the freaking 7-foot inflatable Yoda. Yeah, it was on the front yard. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. So yeah, thanks for watching this. As always, next time, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.